So what's going on, Bill, with the Genovese family?
Yeah, remember they used to say Vincent the Chin Generante. He used to wake up in the morning and he would have a list, a hit list.
Wow.
He didn't mess around. And his brother Mario was a priest. He was known as the bandit priest. I guess these people know how to make money. But the question is not knowing how to make money. Do they actually enjoy the money they make? It's very hard to enjoy the money when you always have to deal with rival families, tension in your own families, the authorities and everything. So even though it seems like a very glamorous life, like they portrayed in The Godfather, sometimes in real life it's not so glamorous. And you're always being hounded by the law, your own family. I mean, you can never take care of yourself properly. You always got to look over your shoulder. But to my way of thinking, I would rather have that life and die young than live a regular life, go to a job for 40 years, and then they retire you, and you don't even have enough money to retire with. They say, what is insanity? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Don't most people do that for 40 years of their life? They work at a job, they do the same thing over and over again, and they really don't, unless you're one of the select few, you have very little to show for your endeavors. You're it's like what Prince said, you're nothing but a slave on the plantation. You're a slave to the man. And then you can go by William Wallace, what he said to the King of England. He says, you can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom. It's better to die young with money than to live to get old and have to struggle. Money is everything in this world. Try getting by without it. It pays your bills, it pays your rent, it gives you health, it gives you security, it gives you freedom. You can live life any way you want. You can include yourself or you can exclude yourself. Money is like having a sixth sense. And these people that tell you money ain't important, is that they never had any to begin with, or they got so much money that money doesn't matter to them, and they're just being smartasses telling other people that money doesn't mean nothing. It's true, health means something, but health is wealth. You can't be real healthy unless you have a certain level of wealth. When you have a job, a career, and you're making a lot of money, you're not under the stress. And if you have money and you're not healthy and you're unhappy, you have nobody to blame but yourself. But most of the other people that just work at these jobs, I forget who said this, the greatest slave is a person who doesn't know he's a slave and finds contentment in his slavery. Because people are amused by alcohol, drugs, sports. In Rome they called it the bread and circus. We call it sports and entertainment. People are amused by these high-priced athletes that are just there to keep us amused. These athletes aren't that valuable in themselves, but the reason they make so much money is their value to the elite people, how they keep the rest of the people amused and entertained, because people have to be entertained, you know. People can never think for themselves. They can never stand on their own 2 feet. They can never formulate their own opinion. They just have to be entertained by these so-called celebrities that they think are so great and so wonderful, and they know what the answer of life is. They know the solution. Just like Oprah. Oprah has to know. She's worth so much money. Oprah knows, you know. This is the stupid people that fall into this trap, you know. It's all about manipulating the masses for their personal gain. People make money by exploiting the weaknesses of others for their personal gain. Just like people that go to strip clubs. The strip club owner ain't putting a gun to your head, or people that gamble at casinos, or people that buy drugs. I mean, people talk about the drug dealers, but the drug dealers wouldn't be making money unless the gringos had the consumption for drugs, and there's a big market in Europe too. And as far as the drugs go, the drug dealers wouldn't have these astronomical profits if drugs were confined to the ghetto. Some of the most prominent people and educated people like lawyers and doctors and people like that are some of the biggest consumers of drugs. Nurses, doctors. It's just a whole mess out there. I had millions growing up. When you don't know, you don't miss. When you're used to a certain standard, it's very hard to do without it. I mean, you want to be healthy, but health takes a lot of money. You need colonics, you need organic foods, you need proper equipment to work out, you need massages, acupuncture. I mean, it's so many things. You want to look young, you need laser therapy, facials, dermabrasion facials, hair treatments. We need supplements, food-grown concentrated supplements, not the regular type of vitamins and shit that people take. People are wasting their time with most of these vitamins they take. Vitamins retain their molecular structure unless you're getting food-grown concentrated vitamins that are taken from a food source and are organically grown preferably. You're just getting you're just getting molecular, you're not getting the synergy, the synergistics, which is the life force. So most of these vitamins people are taking are just tablets, and not only don't they help people, they're actually harmful. Then with food, I mean, most of the food with the GMOs and everything, it's very difficult to find healthy food, non-GMO, organically grown. They say health as well, but look what it costs for all this organic food. I mean, unless you're eating a salad and a can of beans, and if you work out or do something, it's going to cost a lot of money with these organic supplements and foods. It's all about the money. The people with the money have people head over heels. They're nothing but slaves and prisoners. And then people become prisoners of their own desires, their own addictions, their own fears, and their own insecurities. It's very difficult to have a quality life when you don't have money. I mean, people are controlled at every level, from cradle to grave. Everything is orchestrated, everything is controlled, there's a master. It's like the puppet master. And the world that people see in the reality out there is just a stage. The world is a stage. You see the politicians, one party battling against the other. But that's just the act. That's just the theater that they want you to see. Beyond that is the real show. And only few people can understand or grip the harsh reality of it. People are very limited. You get the uneducated morons, and you get the educated morons that can have all the degrees in the world and have a big education, school-wise, or degrees, but they don't know what's going on. They say ignorance is bliss. What you don't know won't hurt you. But what you don't know is going to kill you. Look at people dying way before their time. Instead of living 120, 130 years in health, people are dying 40, 50, even younger. The miserable lives and nothing to look forward to. Even some of these people that are so-called stars that have the money, they don't know how to use the money for their own personal gain and their own benefit. They know how to make the money by taking advantage of others, but they don't know how to use the money, so they become addicted to their own weaknesses. Yeah, people are very difficult to understand. People are basically very selfish, very self-centered. It's like Sigmund Freud said. He said people basically do something when they have a ulterior motive, when there's something in it for them. I'm not a Freud guy, but Freud is 100% right there. People do things when there's something in it for them. You're very seldom going to see somebody do something out of the goodness of their heart. People are very selfish, very self-centered. I mean, people talk about governments. Why are all governments bad? They have to be bad because it's people. Anytime you involve people, there's going to be corruption, greed. Like people used to say, oh, I don't like the police. I don't like doctors. I don't like lawyers. I don't like this group. You know why? The problem isn't police. It's not doctors. It's not lawyers. Where do the police, doctors, and lawyers come from? They come from the human gene pool. And man is corrupt, evil, and out for himself. So naturally there's going to be all corruption in those things as well as anything else because you're picking from human beings, and human beings are evil, vile, and corrupt. That's why you talk about governments. All governments are corrupt and evil. It doesn't matter if it's right wing, left wing, in between. They're all corrupt and evil because they're drawn upon human beings, and human beings by nature are very corrupt and evil and self-centered. I mean, the big philosophical argument, are people basically good and evil? If people were basically good, we wouldn't have the world that we have today. So you have to say people are basically evil when you look at all the inequalities and injustices of the world. But people just go a waste. They want to go about their lives, their whole existence, you know. I mean, you can see nowadays, there's more gyms, there's more health clubs, there's more healthy food, there's more knowledge, there's more material out there. How come people are unhealthier than ever before? They're living less, they're having less lives, they're suffering more with all this additional knowledge. So evidently something isn't working right. There's more obese people and fat people now than ever, yet you see all these diet books. And there's a million diet books, a million gurus, Dr. Phil and Oprah, how to lose weight. Yet, I mean, people are fatter than ever. So somewhere the point is being missed. I mean, people basically don't realize that they're just pawns in the game. They have no control actually over what's really going on. Even the people with money, they think they're in control, but you don't have that much control over circumstances. It's just when you have money, you have freedom to live the life the way you want, but you still don't have control over outside factors. You can control things better than the average person in your own orbit, but you still can't control things at a higher level. And people are just, it's like Jacob Brinkowski said, accent of man. There is no perfect information. All information must be treated with humility. It's very difficult dealing with people, because most people see things from a very limited perspective. The answer is right in front of them, but they can't even see it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, but people are just so brainwashed that people accept saying this is the way it is. This is the way it is. That doesn't mean this is the way it's supposed to be. What is and what should be can be two different things. As far as suffering goes, to the extent the man suffers is what he is and what he has compared to what he wants to have him be. So if the gap is great, the suffering is great. All life is suffering. The more you suffer, they say, the more you learn. You don't learn from the good times, you learn from the bad times. Unfortunately, most people never know any good times. It's just the constant 9-to-5 job, the constant slavery. People give in to their own emotions, their own temptation. It's like Viktor Frankl, the meaning of life. So he said, what was your purpose in life to survive the Holocaust? I guess my purpose, he said, in life was to educate and talk to people to help them try to discover what their purpose and what their meaning in life. The hardest thing in life is to find your purpose. Most people go about like endlessly, just going from one day to another, and they never know any joy, they never know any purpose, they never know any rhyme or reason. I mean, they're not very philosophical, they're not very scientific, they're not very spiritual. Most people just exist, there's not much to them. They're just like machines, they're like zombies. I mean, and it's strange because people say, well, why is it that way? It's that way because it's meant to be that way. Because it's manipulated and controlled from the top with GMO foods, with chemtrails, with a dumbed-down education system. But people never want to face the truth. They want to think, oh, this politician's going to solve my problem, or this one is going to solve their problem. The only one that can solve your problem is yourself, and you solve that from within. You don't seek solutions from outside forces, you seek solutions from within. Anything on the outside is just like joining a cult or joining a group. It's just that people need to be around people. Real people don't need to be around anybody, because even though they're alone, they're never lonely. Because they're one with themselves. They have security, freedom of their own thoughts, of their own mind. Most people have to go along with the flow. They got to visit people on the holidays and say, oh, I'm visiting somebody on the holiday. Meanwhile, you live 10 minutes away from the person, and you're seeing them on the holiday for the first time in a year. So if it was really so important to see the person, why do you wait a whole year when you live 10 minutes away? So if you really cared about seeing the person, I think you would have been able to see them within the year before the holiday. I mean, people just buy into this, holidays, and they need this stuff to give them a sense of meaning. That there's a line, we got holidays, we got New Year's, we got Christmas, just something to keep their dull lives going. Every day is pretty much the same. I mean, in the stars, in the cosmos, in the creation of the universe, every day is just a carbon copy of the day before. It's just man makes everything very difficult. He believes, oh, his time and space and all of this, everything about him is what makes things go. The man doesn't realize he is so insignificant. He's not even like a grain of sand in all the sand in the world. He's less than that. He's not even an ant. I mean, he's just so insignificant. And his life alone really has no meaning, no purpose. And yet he has to try to find purpose, to find reason, to try something, instead of realizing he's just a person stuck in a universe on a planet called Earth, and there doesn't seem sometimes to be any rhyme and reason to this condition. And then again, if you go beyond the time-space continuum, there's no such thing as time. Everything that has happened is happening now. Everything that will happen has already happened. Time and space doesn't exist. It's just a three-dimensional way of looking at things. You go beyond that, you see everything just is. Everything exists in an eternal now. There's no such thing as past, present, and future. Any religious philosophy, science, you can see everything just is now. Time is a three-dimensional tool which doesn't exist at the higher reality. It's all to program us to believe that we go from here to there, this point to that point, but in actuality you're not going anywhere. It's like running on a treadmill real fast and not getting anywhere. You're never going to get anywhere looking for something. You're going to find it when you're not looking for it. If you seek something too much, it won't happen. When you let it happen by itself, it will happen. Things don't happen on your time. It happens when it's meant to happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It isn't meant to be. The people say you got to go out and do the steps, proper steps. But it's not about that. If it's meant to be, it will happen. There's many examples of people that went through all the proper steps to do whatever they were trying to do and doing things correctly, and nothing ever caught fire. And there's other people that just went out by happenstance, and the thing what they wanted to do just happened through the right circumstance, the right connection. So life is really a mystery. I mean, it's very difficult when you're intelligent. And people, when they're young, should work out to keep themselves in shape. They should do extreme exercises when they're young, when they're able to do it. So when they're old, they're in great shape. Most people don't do nothing when they're young, so when they get old, they're incapable of doing anything. That's why you get so many fat, overweight people. I mean, you very seldom see people that are normal weight or in shape.
Bill, what's the explanation for fat people?
People that think that they're not really fat, that they got something wrong, that they're not eating any more than anybody else. It's just that they got a gland condition, or they don't metabolize as fast, and they put on the weight. It's just like your excuses, like somebody saying, well, my cousins are skinny, they eat more than me, and I got a big stomach. It's just a cop-out for people not wanting to take responsibilities for their own behavior.
Wow.
There are some examples where a person could have a gland condition, but that's very rare. That's not in over 99% of the cases. It's true the food is poison, and the GMOs and the fast food and all those things will make it more difficult to be normal weight and be in shape, but it's not impossible. But then again, when you see the people that develop these bad habits, most of these fat people are always stuffing themselves with their own food, or they're just sitting down and they have jobs where they don't move their legs. So there has to be something with their personal choices, their personal lives and endeavors that make them fat. And there's more and more people at a young age fat. So when you're young, your body's supposed to metabolize more. But the thing is, once you get over 25, 30, your body, the metabolism slows down. So at that point, you got to change your exercise, your diet, and nutrition habits. And if you don't change at that point, every year you're going to put on more and more weight. That after 5, 10 years, you're going to be 50 to 100 pounds overweight. It doesn't take much for that to happen. But if people use common sense, the best thing is to never let it happen in the first place, rather than let it happen and then try to deal with it. The best solution to problems is not to have the problem happen in the first place.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bill, Tarzan himself, Tarzan. All right, we'll have another episode shortly. Please like this video and let me know what you think about Tarzan and his intellectual speech that he gives. It's very interesting for everyone to listen and gain some wisdom, some collective wisdom from our friend here, Tarzan. Thank you very much, and please subscribe.